That's why you're blocked. Blocked.
That's why you're blocked. You're listening to That's Why You're Blocked podcast.
Hello. Hey, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. I know we missed a week, but shout out to 2021.
Already.
Yeah, but we're moving forward, and we're going to try to make sure we don't do that. That doesn't happen again, but we're human, and there was a snowstorm. But in other news, I finally have new tires.
Congratulations, Carson. We're adulting out here.
Bro, that was a hit to my wallet, though. I got 4 new ones. But I forgot to introduce myself, but hey, it's me, your favorite, Carson Bailey.
Favorite is a stretch. Chanel Shots here.
I want to thank you guys for listening and coming back. We're just going to get started. We got this wine. It's called Sweet Walter Red, and it's a lot stronger than we thought it was.
It's a lot stronger.
But we like it like that.
I'm not even finished my glass, and it's hot.
Yeah, I've been refilling it, so I'm going to need you to catch up. No mustard.
Mm.
But all right, let's get into it. So, for new listeners, we don't ever really talk about new listeners when we start, right?
No, we don't.
All right, so for new listeners, we've got 3 different sections, and we're going to start with our first segment of this show, because, we're bitches with outlines, because we like that. Oh, I just remembered something. But all right, so let's get the first part is the shit that comes to our phones. So
We'll preface this by saying, y'all, between me and Carson, the shit that comes to our phone is wild, astronomical. I feel like,
and it's also, there's a lot of different things. Like, I know in the past we've kind of had a lot of sex crazy content, and that is a part of us. We're 24,
but not the whole part.
Not the whole part. And so let's get into some other things. So, as we mentioned in our previous episode, we took a break from social media in January, and prior to me doing that, I kind of cut off a lot of people that I don't even really say I was talking to, but I was like, you know what, like, I need to.
In 2020.
Basically, I left a whole bunch of people in 2020. So when I finally get back on Instagram, I look at my, mentions or ads or whatever, and I want to pull up the thing so that I can correctly quote this man, because
when she sent this to me, I was like, yo, that man's bothered is showing. He needs to calm down.
He commented this on a picture, and it was, the first one is, LMAO, you really olayed yourself, because he had a typo. And then he was like, I was gonna spoil you, laughing emoji, French sign.
The French sign is what did it for me.
The French flag, yeah.
Like, for what?
Because I don't think he's from France. So, like, I was very confused at that. But it's kind of like, all right, so this is going to be the start, my first unpopular opinion. If you're really a nice person, you don't have to say you're nice.
You don't have to convince anybody.
You don't have to keep bringing it up. And instead of, like, and the thing, though, is I feel like he might have sent or something else or liked another picture after that. So, like, 10 toes down. If you're not messing with me, stop messing with me. And, of course, me being me, I'm pretty sure I liked those comments on the picture.
I feel like when guys do stuff like that, it's like that's something that a woman would do. Like, to me.
Okay, all right. No. Because niggas are so messy. And I feel like for some reason they have convinced us that we're like the messier sex, and that is so not true.
I think it goes beyond messy. I guess go ahead, finish your point.
I didn't text you back, so, and I wasn't going to text you back. Like, it didn't work. And I do think people do that a lot. And even though we're grown,
Arsenal was grown.
I was going to say, I feel like I consider myself a baby adult at this point.
I'm still figuring it out.
With big things, but I did do my taxes, and hopefully I don't get arrested. But the refund looked nice. I almost deleted something because the refund was looking really, really nice when I first started.
See, the thing is, everyone kind of gives you the option to do that. You're like, okay, we're looking good.
You added, I added a document, and that thing went down.
I was like,
and I deleted it, and I was like, no, jail is not cute. So I did it again.
So all the listeners out there, you won't be in jail. I've never done taxes, and I've definitely made enough money to do so.
Well, I mean, do your taxes if you can. I was gonna say, I mean, fuck the government for real, if you can. Like, low key, even though my student loan debt is kind of hovering over me like a black cloud.
You didn't put it in forbearance?
I mean, it is, but I'm just saying, like, do I really want to give them their money? Like, fuck them for real. Like,
I feel like if you don't get the degree, you shouldn't have to pay them. Because what exactly did you like?
I mean, even just the whole idea of that. Unpopular opinion. Student loan debt is trash. This country's trash. Why are you worried about me? For real, America's credit's real bad. Stop asking for mine. Also, why the fuck are we getting taxed after last year? 2020 was a clusterfuck. And then if you got unemployment, they taxed your unemployment payment. I was talking to her. I was ranting about that on the way to record this episode. So
back to the dude.
I mean, there's nothing much to say to that. Like, it's a no dog.
Well, I just want to ask, like, some of our male listeners, like, what do y'all think about that? Like, was that a bitch move? Like, was that something that's kind of like, would you ever do that if you felt mad enough? Does that mean that he really liked her and he felt hurt? Like, what do y'all think that means?
I feel like you can't really like somebody without getting to know them. We hadn't met yet. Like, this is the internet stuff. But I don't know.
I think people have an idea of who people are through the internet, and I think we're in a society where we live online. So it's possible that someone could think in their mind, oh yeah, I really like this girl, I really want to get to know her further. And he probably felt like you cut that off.
Yeah, but instead of asking, like, are you okay? What happened? You olayed yourself. Instead of asking what was wrong, because, I mean, something has been wrong. I remember somebody hit me up like, what you been up to? I'm like, well, actually, I'm kind of fucked up. I got like an 80-year-old back right now. Like, this shit still kind of hurt. But, all right, so let's get into the unpopular opinions. That was also a thing that I asked, like, my personal Instagram, some followers. So I'm going to react to the things that you guys said because I have some hot takes. Somebody told me my hot takes were trash, though, but...
They were extremely critical. Which is fine.
And I stand by...
10 toes down. One thing I can say about Carson, 10 toes down in these unpopular beliefs. Go ahead, sis.
All right, the first one, we're going to start off mild. And so if you're offended by this, you're in for...
click off.
No, listen. You're in for a whirlwind. And we'll definitely come back because there's so many unpopular opinions. And maybe we'll do an episode about things we like and things that make us happy.
Yes.
But the very first one, I think this person is cute. I think some of her songs are a bop. But Sweetie and Sweetie's wigs don't be hidden a lot of the time. And her licks don't be real looks for me. Like, and she just gets away with it because she's cute. But like, the Best Friend song, I saw the video first. I didn't really like the song because of the video, because I didn't like the looks. But after hearing it in my car,
it's cute.
It's a little cute bop.
Cute, yeah.
But the wigs are trash, and like, it's not just that video. I think, people, celebrities, and everything try to push like hot fashion or high fashion, and that shit looks stupid. Her wigs look stupid. That one fucking patchy looking wig, terrible. Even Doja Cat, like, y'all are really cute girls with nice bodies, but like the wigs and the outfits,
You don't like the pink wig?
It's a no from me. It was
the Back to the Streets one.
That wig is fine.
Okay.
The short, like
the patchy rainbow wig?
Not good. And she also had like a 27-piece looking wig that also was not like
not
good.
27.
The 20.
Not Beauty Supply. Oh my God.
Yeah, she had a wig like that. I was not hitting for that. But it's not just her. I think a lot of celebrities, I don't know. I don't like braided wig looks on a lot of them.
I don't like braided wig looks, period.
I think, I know somebody that, I know people benefit from them. Some of them don't look that bad, but...
I've never seen a good looking one.
I've seen some that weren't bad looking, but also it's on the internet. Side part to the wigs. Y'all frontals and closures don't look that nice in real life. Nothing wrong with wearing a wig. I wore wigs. I like changing my shit up. But frontals don't look nice in real life. Like, there's no way. The ones that I've seen, they don't hit. Well, no. My cousin had one that wasn't, like, bad.
I won't say I don't think they hit. I just think you can tell. Like, either way, no matter what you do to it, you can
also,
tell.
Also, all them extra baby hairs, it don't look right. It don't look right on everybody.
I think the baby hairs are to be a little bit more extra. Like, I don't think baby hairs, I don't think when people do them and they do the edge, like they do all of that extra stuff, I don't think the goal is to look natural. I feel like the goal.
I'm not saying natural. I just don't think it looks like
good. Extra and be high maintenance.
I get
appreciate
it.
That.
I'm saying do your thing. It's just I'm talking about like the frontal baby hairs that y'all like cut to like try to swoop. The like actual baby hairs don't lay that way. As somebody,
if money you pay for frontals, I mean, go as extra as you want to go.
Yeah, it's just I feel like frontals, y'all, maybe the ones I've seen in real life, I feel like y'all should just got a closure. And for people who don't know all these terms,
closures.
Just like for the way that my hair grows, closure sewing doesn't work for me.
I don't think everyone knows that because I've seen some closures and it's like a comb. You know what I mean? Like your actual head shape is just not fit for a closure. Like I don't know.
Well, it wasn't even the head shape. It's like the front hairs or my baby hairs. Like I don't want to say a lot, but like they only do like one or two things, and like a closure, a closure. So like right now you can't see it, but like they're there because I wear a scarf and they kind of curl. Mm-hmm. But like the one time I got it, also the person kind of like put it a little too like a little back than what I would have liked.
Delicate, like baby hairs are very delicate.
But what I was saying is, I think a lot of people that get frontals, I think y'all should just got a closure. Like y'all don't really even do like all the frontal can do.
All right, the next one, this is hers, and I will say that when I watched the video again, I can kind of now I love Tiana Taylor.
All right, I love her too. I love her family. I think that she does a good job of staying in her lane with her music, but
definitely.
She can't dance. She can't dance. And I'm not saying that I am a classically trained dancer, but I want everybody to go like pause this podcast right now.
We were on FaceTime and she literally made me do this, y'all.
Right? Go watch the Fade video. And like, all right, she looks really good.
Bomb.
Body bomb, face bomb. Like some of the concepts were a little but like just watch like just for like dance moves and picture, right? Another artist doing those dance moves and it looks stupid. It like if Beyonce did those dance moves, y'all would eat her alive. Or like Megan Thee Stallion.
So. If Megan did them.
I would say Beyonce, different part, but like any other person, it would not hit.
Okay, like you that.
I was gonna say she's really cute, and also she had a movie. I think it was like Honey 2 or something, where she was dancing, and the mother was like, "Girl, it looks like you having like a seizure." I don't mean to offend people that have seizures, but like it's terrible. All right, when her mother said that, I was like, that is the best way to describe how she dances.
I want to propose to you that I think, like what you said, like they get away with it because they're cute. Do you believe in pretty privilege?
Yeah.
What do you think the definition is? I think we have two different ones.
Well, it is kind of like you get a pass and you're seen better, and like you have this unearned preference or perceived goodness because of the way you look. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, yes, in a sense, like she looks good, but the thing with Tiana Taylor is that dance is apparently her background.
Is it?
That's where, like, she I feel like she puts dancer first. And it's just...
I feel like she put dancer first because her vocals aren't, super strong, so she can't say singer.
No, I get that. But I feel like the last project she did, she stayed in her lane.
She's
it was
an
nice.
entertainer. Like, she should just lead with that.
Yes.
I think she's very entertaining.
She's sexy. She looks good.
Yeah.
I love her family. It's very cute. It gives me hopes that I could find me a tall brown-skinned man and have cute brown-skinned babies. Baby can't dance, though. She can't dance. She can't dance.
So I think, when we had this conversation about Pretty Privilege a few weeks ago, it sounded like you were saying, I think Pretty Privilege is more like, you get things. Like physical things. Like,
well, what I was saying is, like, there's actual studies that show that
pretty people live better lives.
Have better lives overall. And it's successful. I don't. We weren't arguing against each other.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I was just trying to like get like that layer out. So
yeah.
I think pretty privilege is when you can do exactly what you said these women are doing, or what they get to do.
Yes.
Like you get to make some mistakes that other people can't make. You get to like you said, a pass. I totally get that. Now, do you think pretty privilege is fair?
No, but unfortunately, life isn't fair.
Right.
And then also with the beauty, right? One, we measure beauty on like a European standard, and it's also like in the beholder. For some people, like I ain't it. And other people may or may not be, higher up on the list. It really varies.
It does. I think preferences, we had that conversation too. Preferences are...
Okay, so that's the thing that we may or may not talk about. But I have this is, I don't know, it was kind of like in the shower, my third eye may or may not have opened. But like, I was kind of thinking of like, is it possible to have an unbiased preference?
No.
And so like, because I was thinking of certain people when they say, oh, you know, I don't like this certain type of people, that's just my preference. And to me, a lot of it is rooted in like racism, sexism, imperialism. And I was thinking, is it even possible to genuinely like a certain type of people because you genuinely like a certain type of people, or like other, like without having any other?
I don't think we can have unbiased opinions. Because our experiences literally shape what we think is good, what we think is bad.
No.
If you grew up in a family where like killing was a thing, like no matter how many people tell you no, killing is bad or lying is bad or whatever it is, you wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. If you grew up in an area and you only saw one type of person, you would go to any other place and let's say you lived in Africa and you didn't have access to the internet.
We're in Africa.
Okay. You're right. Africa's a continent.
Yeah,
Let's say you lived in a country in Africa.
There you go. That's better.
I don't want to put one out and then I don't know much about it. So I don't
No. I get you.
There's a country. Let's say I grew up in a country in Africa and not like one of those poor ones that everyone's assuming Africa.
Well, that's another thing that it kind of goes in with media. There's like, we kind of going back to like America, our credit score is low. Like for some reason we have this like our nose up to a lot of
shit doesn't stink.
And it stinks so motherfucking bad, bitch. Like when we look at all the other countries, how they've handled this pandemic, how they treat their poor,
with humanity,
and not even just humanity. Like there's so many other countries that have like paid maternal leave for up to like 1 or 2 years.
Wow.
And like the work week, it is really crazy.
There
and then
are
also
black women who want to have their babies in other countries.
I'm one of them, low key, on the highest of keys. But going before I segued off of that, and how did I want to say this? I lost my train of thought. Shout out to that wine.
Oh, right? Okay, so let's say I grew up in a country in Africa and I never saw a white person before. I never heard the term white beauty or the white man's gaze or whatever, all these other beauty standards. I would think that the women around me are beautiful. Like I would have no other recollection of anything else.
I think, yes, in an ideal situation. But unfortunately, due to imperialism, right, and racism, that they have somehow, which like I low key would like to go to, like if alternate universes are real, the one where like white people didn't get guns first, and like they didn't create like the standard beauty, what that would be like, because even in those countries where like there's South Africa, like it's going through basically their civil rights. Right about now.
Let's go back. Maybe
we're just time hop. All right, you know what? We're getting a little too history deep, and we're supposed to talk about unpopular opinions. So
well, what I'm saying is, I don't think that there's such thing as unbiased opinion.
No, I agree to that.
Impossible.
And I think that's a thing that I've been toying with. Like, can you really? Also, another unpopular opinion, like just because you can't have your argument. I feel like you should have facts when you base your argument, and a lot of men think that women are like the more emotional sex, and like they'll try to cancel us or silence us, not from facts, right, but because of their opinions on women or things that they've been taught. That's another unpopular opinion. This is completely off topic, but like not everything should be on a graphic t-shirt. And this is coming from a bitch that used to love graphic t-shirts, and I still don't mind a graphic t-shirt, but like not every funny Twitter slang lingo thing needs to be on a t-shirt.
I highly disagree. I love the t-shirt culture. I love the fact that we're in 2021. If I want to start a t-shirt business for $0, I can do that and put whatever the fuck I want to say on the t-shirt and sell it. And that means that somebody agrees with what I say, or someone agrees with what I think. Like I think like what we're seeing with t-shirts, you mentioned the Nah, or the Nah Rosa Parks or the We Out.
That shit's so fucking stupid. She ain't say that.
I don't think it's stupid. I honestly love them. I probably would have bought one if I just didn't yet. But I love them. I absolutely love them. I love that you can say whatever you want and you can put it on, you can sell it, make it a business, make it a brand. I love it.
I mean, I'm all for making a brand and all that stuff. I just think that sometimes it's overboard. Like, I remember I saw this white girl on like where is Felicia going? When everybody used to say bye Felicia, I'm like, y'all don't get the reference. Like, y'all just putting shit on t-shirts. Y'all don't know. Like, you can't even directly quote where it's from.
Okay, so this is unpopular opinion. I don't think black people know what they want from white people. I think we are literally going to be upset with 90% of the things that white people do while they're trying to go on this journey of trying not to be fucked up people.
Okay, I have a lot of things to say to that. I think that when you really think of all the things that they've done, like, they used to feed our babies.
Alligators. I got you.
No, I'm just saying, like, but like, even like, not like people, it's just so much
traumatic years of trauma.
And then it's like kind of what we're saying, like, even we don't have anything. They take so much from us.
And I get all the reasons to be angry. What I'm saying is I've noticed
I think also
years,
what you said earlier is like there's no real gatekeeper on black culture,
at all.
And I feel like I think we judge ourselves a lot harsher than we judge every other group and how they treat us.
Definitely.
If you bought something from a black person and it didn't necessarily go that way, you're like, oh, I can't, that's why, black business, I won't do that. You will go shop at Forever 21 Fashion Nova, even though like their shit be fucking up several times. Not just that. So
well, we are conditioned to think that black means discount, it means off, it means bad, it means it should be cheaper. When the reality is black businesses literally cannot afford to be cheaper because of all the things that they have to fight.
And then there's so many layers to all of this.
What I'm saying is that I saw a lot of people in this Black Lives Matter movement talking about, oh, white people, like, no, I don't want you here. My thing is, if black people could have saw Black Lives Matter, if black people could have saw this already, we would have done it. We literally can't. We actually do need Bethany and Becky to stand next to their family and say, this is wrong, and have good intentions. I understand they probably need to be trained because they're coming from whiteness and they don't have, they're not fully there. But like, what do we actually want?
I feel like even asking that low key is.
I'm not asking. I'm saying if they're already willing to do it, are we stopping them? Like,
well, you just asked, what do we want as black people? Unfortunately, we're not a united front. We are not cohesive. And this goes on to my next unpopular opinion. Low key, I think black stylists who give these white women box braids are at fault a little bit too in the perpetuation of appropriation of culture. And it's just,
I can't understand why a white person would want to do that to their hair. Like, to be
because
honest.
it's trendy. It's not even just white people. Another place that's like really, really racist, Asian countries. I saw this like trap video in Italy, and I'm like, y'all literally like kill, like lynch niggas like in 2020 or 2021, like y'all, and it's really weird how much people love us or love the aesthetic that we bring naturally, and like they hate us at the same time. It's very weird, but that's another topic for another day.
Well,
we won't even get too deep.
We won't. But how do you feel about the white mothers who have black daughters and all of them trying to do their hair and posting that?
Well, I think that there's nothing wrong. I feel like YouTube. I've seen that where people like get really mad, and I've seen like a white family that has like 2 black kids, and I've seen the way they handle like their hair and stuff. And I was talking to my mom. It's like I kind of want to like give them tips or pointers, but it's like you can't step on somebody's toes. So I think looking to YouTube and posting YouTube videos, I think that's a good thing. It's a learning source. I don't feel like that's an issue for me. I think not doing that is where I have the most issue with.
Like, you adopted this child and you just letting them go to school.
I blame a lot of the black men that have babies with these white women who are racist, and we'll come back to that with our black fetish episode. But like, because it's not the person who loses is the black baby.
Definitely. I saw a video about that on TikTok, and it was a mixed child, and she got to be at least 15 years old, and she was like, she was talking about fetishes. She was like, you white women that have fetishes with black men and you want to get pregnant by one, you're not even thinking about the child. You don't have their experience. Their daddy doesn't have their experience. You also don't have the tools to raise them because their experiences are completely different than anything that you've ever had to experience. And
then also there's this, it's not just white and black. Black people do it too, or like you're trying to create a designer baby, and like unfortunately, genes don't work like that. So if it doesn't come out the way that you want, like, you take it out on that. I've seen videos of, like, this woman, like, berating black people while having a mixed kid. Like, your daughter's half black.
She is black. To America. She's black baby with quote unquote good.
Oh, and then that's another thing. I guess this is not necessarily a popular opinion, but like a question. Unfortunately, like, since we don't have a gatekeeper on our culture, what is too black or not black enough? And so, like, I'm not asking you to answer this question, but I've been kind of thinking about that. Like, who really, like, how do you... I'm black. I identify black. I look black. Other people identify as me as black. But, like, where in the spectrum do we, like, all right, is it genes? Because a lot of these white people and KKK members, unfortunately, baby, we're more related than you think. And then even when you think about race and color, it is such a, like, when we break down our genetic makeup, such a small...
We are all 99% the same.
Shit, we both...
it's 99.9, if I'm not mistaken.
We like pretty close to a goddamn banana, which is really crazy. And the only reason why we're treated different is because we originated closest to the equator. Like, when you break it down to, like, the most simplest thing, it is quite messed up and interesting.
I believe that mixed people are black. Like, that's just the way I think. They're black.
Well, mixed with black.
Yes, mixed with black. People who are mixed with black are black. I don't think they benefit from white privilege. Now, they may benefit from light skin privilege. They may have that.
Well,
but
I think that
they
is
benefit from white privilege. Like, I think they're black.
The light skin falls kind of under white privilege. You're more closer to the European beauty standard. So it's.
But I think white privilege is more like when it comes to bigger stuff. Like, the fact that we still in 2021 have to put, like, our race and gender on a job application.
Do you realize that the reason why companies say can carry 50 pounds is so people with disabilities don't apply? Like, it is actually really crazy how fucked up this shit is. Like, really crazy.
The fact that it is so just embedded into everything. My mom said she named me my name because she wanted to make sure that I can get a job.
Well, that's my mom said the same
Obviously
thing.
my real name, not my alias. But she's like, I wanted you.
No, we don't have an alias.
Girl, bye, please. You really think someone named someone Chanel Shots? Please.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, don't even. I mean, there's no way they could actually look it up and just delete this. But
I was gonna say, I don't.
Right. My mom said she named me that because she wanted to make sure that no one could tell if I was black or white. The fact that she was really thinking about that. Okay, at some point, my daughter's going to be a black woman in America, and I want her life to be easier.
My mom made me my name so that you couldn't tell I was black or white or boy or girl.
Oh wow! I didn't think about
the same thing with my sibling, my sister.
Yeah, you're right.
Same thing, like that. That is specifically why.
That's so crazy. It's crazy to think.
And so, and then another, because I've had conversations like with names when I was little. I know my mom used to kind of make fun of people's names, and I would get really mad. I'm like, hey, people don't name themselves. And even this whole idea of like bad names, or it's all racism. It is all racism. And it's kind of crazy how every single motherfucking thing can go back to racism. And what's more fucked up is the more woke you are, the more upset you get. So let's go back on a lighter note, because we're about to go down a rabbit hole.
Okay, so you don't think the movie Juice is good?
Oh no,
basketball.
Oh, unpopular opinions on movies. All right. Well, I will say this: I'm not a big rom-com fan
at all.
I don't really like action movies either.
So what movies do you like besides crime?
Well, that's not really a movie. Those are more like
suspense. I
don't mind suspense. I think a good comedy, like a good plot would be nice, but like I kind of like scary movies, but like I'm not a big gore scary movie person.
What do you like? Let's just not go with what you don't. What do you like?
I feel like it's a lot easier to say what I don't like.
Well, actually, you're checking off a lot of things for what you don't like. So how about you just say what you like? Do you know?
No. Oh, unpopular opinion. Malcolm and Maria.
Oh my gosh. It was Malcolm and Marie. Number one.
Malcolm and Marie. Mid.
I like Malcolm and Marie. I don't know. I'm trying to still pinpoint what I liked about it, but honestly, I have no serious connection to think, oh, I liked it because one of my favorite actresses was in it. Honestly, I'm not saying I don't get the hype about Zendaya, but it wasn't like. And then the man, he was what's his name, son?
Yeah, but he's been in a few things. He was pretty good. He was in Black Klansman. He was in Tenet.
Oh, that was him in Black Klansman. No, I like
Tenet
that.
was a interesting, good movie.
I like the back and forth, and I think we're moving into a season in media where not everything has the same plots as it used to.
Which is not necessarily
like that movie, Mom Bottoms. Did you watch it? Yeah,
part
Ma
of
Rainey.
it. Hold up. Wait a second. I'll make sure my computer was still working. Sorry.
That whole entire movie was literally about one studio session. And I think as the gatekeepers of media are disintegrating because of Netflix, because of YouTube, because of all these things, we're going to start seeing more movies like that.
Which I'm a big proponent, and I would like more diversity in tech. But all I was saying with Malcolm and Marie, outside of it, just to me, it looked like I was watching a rehearsal. Like it was like the third reading of the script.
So the way that you put it a little earlier was that, it didn't give me, I'm in the car with my homegirl and she's going off on her nigga. So are you telling me that you're more into baby boy fights? Like, is that...
No, but like...
I feel like... And you only watched 40 minutes of it, right?
Yeah, but...
Okay.
It was 40 minutes. I watched it.
Okay, good.
I just, like I said, to me, it just wasn't the best. Like, I wasn't really moved by it. I'm like, oh, wow, they're just arguing. And to me, it wasn't even like really passionate arguments.
Okay.
That's all. I just didn't, I was like, eh.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's see, what's another? I while I was eating today, I clicked on finding something to watch on Netflix, and I clicked back on the Tiger King. Unpopular opinion. That nigga is wild. I
don't think I've seen it.
Yo, that's just a hot mess. The most sane person in that movie was the reason why they had Scarface.
I'm gonna look it up.
Was the actual person behind the movie fucking Scarface. Tiger King's crazy. I think Carol Baskin might have killed her husband. And that's no shade, no tea. Another unpopular.
What's the plot for Tiger King?
It's kind of like a docuseries. I can't. It's about like exotic animals, and like it's a hot mess. I don't know how to describe it in any other kind of way.
She likes just that murder shit, yo.
This is not murder shit. Like, this is alright, the person they're highlighting is a
murder, mayhem, and madness.
A gay tiger, like he's from like Wisconsin. Like, he's an old gay man in like a polyamorous relationship with two niggas who are only gay for pay, and he's dealing with like
not gay for pay.
No, they are, or gay for meth. But like, it's
I'm not just that wild shit. If it's not wild, y'all,
it's not just me. Everybody watches.
I'm saying in general, I think that is your type.
I'm a true crime person,
yes,
but
that is
I think that,
and anything outside of that is
not necessarily.
Okay.
I like
what
other movies? I like funny movies. Like I said, I'm not big in rom-com, but I like All the Boys I Loved Before. I thought that was a cute movie. Just the first one. I didn't like the second one. And I don't think I'm gonna watch the third one because,
What are some other comedies that you liked? Like mainstream comedies.
Alright. The feeling that I would love to bottle up is like the very first time I watched the movie Bridesmaids. To me, that was really funny.
Bridesmaids.
The movie.
I know which movie you're talking about.
You didn't think that was funny?
I didn't think it was as great as... I'm asking for, like... You're someone who is very critical of anything outside of, like, the true crime genre. So I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting Bridesmaids.
It was like Hangover. That was like stupidly
Hangover was funny.
I was like, Bridesmaids was funny.
Okay.
Okay, well, especially when the very first time watching, when they were like in the middle of the street in the wedding dress, that shit was hilarious. I thought they did a good job. What's her name? When she first came out, McCarthy, she was funny.
Yeah.
I thought
usually when you lose weight, you're not funny.
Well, not even that. I think that she did really well in her first few roles. The Identity Theft that she was in was pretty good.
Identity Theft was good.
I don't like Bridesmaids. That's a little weird. I
thought it was things that you don't like, and I'm like, okay.
I
think what we're realizing in 2021, y'all, as friends, is that me and Carson actually have a lot different tastes than we thought.
Yeah, we come together as hoes.
We don't agree on as much.
Okay, so another one. Love and Basketball and Love Jones. Not that great of movies.
I've never seen Love Jones, and now I'm gonna have to watch it because she didn't like it. But Love and Basketball, I love that movie. But I will say, I think I love it because my mom loves it so much.
It's my sister's favorite movie.
It's favorite. Oh wow.
No, like it's a legit like her.
And your sister's also very critical. I'm surprised.
It's her favorite. It's Love
really
and Basketball
cute.
has a nice playlist. It's a mid movie. Also,
I don't remember the playlist at all. I think I remember one song, the last song that they played.
When you watch Love and Basketball again, you'll like it's your type of music.
The
90s,
beginning and the end.
90s
in the beginning, and then
R&B.
I forgot what the last song was. I remember I liked it.
I mean, I've seen it several times. It's just not that great of a movie. Also, there's a few other ones that aren't that great. I.e., and this is something that I argue with people on when I ask for people's unpopular opinions. Juice is not a good movie.
I'm not a good person to ask because I think the Juice and Belly are very similar. Like,
they both aren't that good. I try to watch Belly
time.
like 3 times once. I could never finish it.
Well,
Juice is fucking stupid. There's no plot. The storyline sucks. And I feel like we just put this under this like nostalgia because Tupac is in it and he's no longer alive. I think we could like Tupac and his work, but just say that movie isn't it.
I think movies like that have more to do with black culture at that time. And I think that's why people are so attached to them. To the point where you forget about plot. And I also don't think that not every movie that has to come out has to have a super, super strong plot.
But I mean,
some movies are just like, I don't really get Friday. I really don't.
I think that kind of falls under the same thing. It's like, it's not that, like, people hold it really dear. And
right.
But
I don't get it. I even tried to watch it again. Like,
I get Friday more than Juice. Juice just ends. There's no resolution. Like, there's no storyline. Like, if you were to break it down on like a elementary level, this shit don't make no sense.
No climax and no
none
falling.
Of that.
Action.
There's none of that.
There is falling action.
There is none in Juice.
I'm trying to not be so critical when I watch things.
And I get that, and I think that there's a lot of things. I like ranch and reality TV for that reason. It's just the way that people put it on a pedestal is like, bro, it's not saying anything. We could still like Tupac and agree that movie.
Did you like Poetic Justice?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad, but
right.
It's a decent movie, I guess.
If Janet Jackson wasn't the leading lady, it probably wouldn't be as big. But again, I think to really say if you liked it or not, I think maybe you'd have to be around like when it came out. Because I know a lot of people. It's like the same thing with some albums that if you were to play it or if your parents were to play it, they'd be like, you just don't know. Like this song right here, this brings up. You listen to it, it's like.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking about music. All right, I got a few unpopular opinions.
Go ahead.
A lot of people criticize female rap for not being like really like very lyrical, and it's like y'all don't want lyrical rappers because they exist. Y'all don't listen to them, so don't come at people who didn't say they were lyrical rappers and try to tarnish their names.
But are you included in y'all?
In a sense, yeah. I'm not necessarily searching out like real, deep storytellers. I feel like you could like super not deep music. Also, your favorite lyrical rappers don't be saying a lot of shit either. So I feel like there's a certain air of ignorance, or like not ignorance, but like
passes. Do we give people passes?
Innocent, a lot of times, yes. But I meant more of like they turn their nose up when they consider like a certain artist, and I'm like, it's really just a beat. I feel producer needs more credit, like.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, I feel like all the really deep philosophical rappers, most of the ooh lines, it's pretty elementary, and I like that. I like music, I like rap, but y'all be acting like elitist snobs, and there's no need. Also, I feel like you guys don't like female rappers because they're female, not because of their rap skills.
I just feel like if I had a daughter right now, I'd rather her listen to Megan than listen to a mumble rapper who's going to tell her that it's okay for her to fuck her and leave. I feel like I would personally be more okay with
and
that.
then women don't talk about more sex than men. That's all niggas talk about in the rap songs.
They don't talk about killing for the most part either. Like whenever I listen to female rap, I literally feel like, okay, I'm about to like, let me work out. Okay, let me do something because I'm special. That's how I feel listening to female rap. I listen to male rap, it's like, dang, I mean.
It's hard to like listen to like male rappers because it's very sexist and misogynist, especially old shit. Like,
and y'all were mad about WAP. Please.
It sounds like some dry ass pussy people. But that is my unpopular opinion. Like, you guys don't like female rap, and it's not because of their skills, it's because of their female. And your male rappers aren't much better. I also, men, but not just men, you guys let people or certain celebrities get away with a lot. Like, i.e. violence towards women.
Chris Brown.
He's an example of it, but I was thinking of other people. Like, we were kind of talking with my sister, and we were going on about the guy who shall not be named that deserves to be under a jail. Even the short man, even less mean.
Tory.
Yeah. Like, people are so...
Would you have such a problem with Tory if he wasn't short? Like, would you not throw so many jabs if he wasn't short? Or
that's a
part of it?
Being honest, I really want to work on that, because I saw guys like, much talk as people talk about mental health. A lot of women, you berate things for things that men can't change. So I do want to be better with that. However, this man in particular, like, they're just, it's not even his first example of being violent towards women. And for him, I blame all these social media outlets. The same thing with the guy 6ix9ine. He had like an altercation with Meek Mill, and they were putting it all in the shade room. I'm like, stop giving this person a platform. Like, I feel like we do, like, cancel culture doesn't exist because we're not consistent enough as a people.
Well, I think cancel culture also paints people at a certain point, and it's like, I do believe that people can change, but that's another conversation.
Oh, that's what we were kind of talking about. Is change possible? And that's a layered converse. So let us know if you want to hear it.
That's definitely, that could be a good part. So there's a number of examples.
My biggest issue with a lot of these people is that, like, remember the Seahawks player that beat that girl damn near to death? A lot of what I saw with men, and especially black men, talking about, oh, how you're not going to talk about this because he's black, and not being upset because an actual woman was beat to death. And the NFL is a whole other thing of how they allow these men to abuse women and sweep it under the rug. Like, that's a whole other topic.
Because they're good players. I mean, honestly,
well, not even that. It's just
college.
Literally black men want white male privilege. They don't necessarily want to be better. They're not necessarily down for the cause. They just want to get away with things like white men do. And that's just...
That's a huge unpopular opinion.
Well, I mean, it's true.
No.
Like, their arguments for, like, oh, before Harvey Weinstein was put to jail, they're like, oh, you're not doing Harvey Weinstein like you're doing The Man Who Shall Not Be Named, or the other TV star that shall not be named. They weren't looking for justice because of the victims. They were like, well, he also, like, the issue for
y'all
them...
too. It wasn't only two, like, y'all too.
It wasn't the issue that the crimes were committed against women. The issue was... But, like, the white man... I want to be like the white man and be able to get away with it. And it's not that I have issue with what is happening.
I've had several conversations, maybe not too many, because if you disagree on a certain point about, like, the first one, the music person... Who shall not be named. I don't think that we can have... I don't know. That's something I'm struggling with, because I feel like people have difference in opinions. But
I don't think you could... I can't be around somebody who could disagree with something so fundamentally...
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, where is the line drawn? Like, how many things have, like, can you disagree on what? Like, because as women, we feel certain situations stronger. So I'm not saying that I could talk to someone who... What do you mean stronger? Like, I don't know how I want to put this, because you're already giving me space. I'm just trying to figure out in my mind, like, what is the line? No, I cannot talk to someone romantically who had a difference in opinion. But let's say I work with someone and this is their opinion. Does that mean that every time I see them, like, I have to be like, we can't have a conversation, we can't talk? Well, I'm saying, like, where's the line? That's
for you. I just realized, because I think when I first was starting to understand the world and really learn how things work, you kind of wanted to argue with people and try to say, hey, what you're saying isn't right, and here's why. And I realized, for me, in my piece, I can't argue with somebody who disagrees on certain, like, the fundamentals. Certain fundamentals rights that I have. And I just like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you because honestly, more than likely, I'm not going to change your opinion. And I'm just going to waste my breath. Like, I just can't be around, like, if I were to say Black Lives Matter, you're like, what about all the other lives? Like, we can't, that's not it. There's no, like, I'm not going to try to argue that down. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I can't, and I won't.
And I understand that. And I think I've hit a point where I don't want to argue to a certain point, but I don't mind engaging in conversation with someone who has a difference in opinion than me, because I understand upbringing is different for some people. I understand where you live and your experiences have shaped how you think about certain things. And maybe you really just don't understand. Like, maybe no one's ever sat you down, especially when it comes to men. A lot of times they've never heard the counter opinion because who they talk to, men who think the exact same way. And I don't want to argue with you back and forth, but, you know, maybe I could, you know, drop a few little bombs to you and see how you respond and kind of go from there.
That is, and hopefully you've been successful in that.
For the younger men, yes, not older men.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't know. I guess when I've talked to people and I bring up certain things, I'm like, okay, I kind of get it, but it's just.
I think you go back and forth with people more than you think.
Oh no, I do, and you want to kind of change people's opinions because there's lives at stake. I'm just speaking from the fact that, like, look. If you want to argue about like reproductive rights on somebody who will never give birth, to me, like I don't get that. Like, it literally doesn't affect you at all, like at all.
It's the definition of privilege.
And so, like, to me, what's the argument? Like,
I get that. I understand. I think when men want to have this conversation of, oh, women really don't want to be equal, women's rights, feminism is a bunch of bullshit, I really don't think they're hearing what we're saying. Honestly, to me, the feminist movement, womenist movement, all that stuff to me is I want to be treated like a person, like a human.
Yes.
Not an object, not property, not something that you make laws for that you'll never have to experience. That's what I want. No, I don't want to lift heavy things. No, I don't want to do all these things that are associated with men. No, I don't want to provide for a whole household. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to be treated like a human. And I think there's a line. I don't think it has to be one thing or the other.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. But this is also something I was thinking about within the whole ideas of, like, gender norms and certain ideology. Because to me, a lot of people say that the reason, or like they state their argument like that's wrong because of the way things have been, like certain rules or laws. Like when we think of the Constitution, like the whole reason for it, if I'm to understand what I learned growing up, is for the thing to be able to be a living document that can change. So why are we still going off of rules from 300 years ago? A. B. Damn, what was B? I got X. All right. Shout out to the weights.
This is a really good wine. I should try it.
Shout out to the Sweetwater wine.
Give me the rest of it because you got to drive that. Okay.
I mean, I'm fine now, but I'm losing my train of thought in a sense.
No,
but basically, I
wasn't
necessarily finished. But I kind of wanted to say, just because things were like laws or rules doesn't make them inherently right. I.e., at a certain point, slavery was a legal law. Like, and then we think of, you know, how, oh, women aren't doing, I'm like, we weren't allowed to because there were laws. They were not right. And today there are still a lot of rules, laws, and regulations that aren't right that people want to uphold just because they've been laws and rules and rights for a while. And I think it's the same thing with certain gender norms. Because I know you had an unpopular opinion that you shared to me. We were talking about it like a week ago.
Maybe the one that's giving me too. What was it?
The one with what's his name from YouTube?
Oh, Kevin Samuels. So I'm listening to, and honestly, I don't think a lot of his advice is wrong. Honestly.
I mean, he's not saying.
I look at the advice, so I try not to listen to one more than the other. So if I listen to a Kevin, just because I'm really interested in this whole topic, because all of a sudden it's gonna pop. Like this high value this, feminism that, or not feminism, femininity this, and specifically like black women femininity, and specifically high value black men. I'm really just interested in it. I'm like, wow, it's like cult followings. Like if you actually listen and watch those videos, people are just dropping money to them. like just to get their questions answered. I'm just like, wow. For one, I'm interested in like that's a dope ass business model. Like, you know, be on the lookout. That's why you're blocked. Like, drop the money. But on the other hand, I listen to both. So if I listen to like the Kevin Samuels about high value man and leveling up, and you can't have this or you can't have that, or these are certain things that they would want, to the point where maybe women, we don't want what we say we want. And then I'll go over to the feminine or the femininity one. And they're like, if he's not paying for this, that, and the third, why is he requiring you to look like this, that, and the third? And honestly, I agree with both. And I don't totally agree with all of it, but I listen and pick and choose. And I think why some people are so mad about them is because they're taking all of it as, oh, this is doctrine, this is fact. No, all of that is someone else's opinion. It's not fact, it's not fiction, it's someone else's opinion. And within that, you can craft your own. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Your face. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
You finished?
Yes, I'm finished. Go ahead.
Oh, no, not to be rude. That's kind of going back to my point. We have created certain gender norms or rules that a man has to do this, a woman has to do that. And who, like, literally, it's just an entire thing. Like, oh, a man is, like, paying for all these bills, so he should have a woman that, if he's paying for all the women should look like this. I think that, you know, what they're saying is right to a certain extent, but when you really think about it, who's making these like standard rules that a man does this, or like certain value for a man or certain value for a woman is required by certain tasks? I think that we assign each gender like the value within is what you can accomplish. And I've been thinking like, why can't our value just be in us being here?
Well, I think that everyone has value. I think that everyone has inherent value. That's because I read the Bible, and that's what I honestly think from the Bible. To the maintenance man, to the homeless man, to the CEO, but everyone has value.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, even in that sense of like everyone has value, but like, why do we tell men or have to pay for everything, or why does this like why? I'm just asking a bigger theoretical question. I'm not asking you to answer it, but like when you break it down, why is this the way it is?
When I break it down, to me personally, I feel like a lot of men's identity, and it could just be, you know, the gender roles that we would sound like you said. I think a lot of the identity is being a provider, and I think when they're not, it messes with their head.
Yeah,
I have been in. I understand. Like, I understand what you're saying. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Yeah. I got that. Why do we have these values? But the reality is, they're here. And I understand what you're about to say. Just because it has been doesn't mean it always is.
So
I understand. I get you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But right now, where I live in 2021, I would rather a man provide and a man be looking to provide than him feeling like because I have more money than him, or him feeling like because I'm doing this, that, and the third, that all of a sudden we're like I'm dating down or something. Yeah. I've been in a relationship, at least like 2 to 3 situations where either I made more or at that time I was just a little bit more up than they were. And when I tell you the flip, that switch, I started noticing that they were like just different. Like, I really think it messes with a man's psyche to not be able to provide.
I agree. I don't want to say that what you're feeling is wrong, and then it is the way that we are as society, as a human being. I just think also, like, as much as I think men are like the creator of their problem with like within like toxicity, like toxic masculinity, that whole term came from another man. And I think they think that it's a women thing that we created. Like, no, you guys did.
Do you think there's such thing as toxic femininity?
I think they're toxic people, yes. In both sides. I think that there is, like, the patriarch, to me, is the biggest issue for both parties.
Define it.
The patriarch?
The patriarchy, yeah.
All right. So,
what's your definition?
Like, how do I want to describe it? But it's like you have to be a man's man. And if you aren't, like, a hetero cisgendered white man, to get as close as you are is to be the ideal man, and anything other than that, you're less than, or it's an issue. And I think that there's certain things that like men don't have certain issues. Like when I saw the person that talked about, you know, like a lot of times women make fun of the things that men can't control, and I know that I've done that, and I'm trying to make a conscious effort to not do that as much. Since I've seen that, I'm not perfect. I do think that men benefit and have an easier life off the strength of their men. And
I agree.
also, black men benefit from it, even though they like to think of themselves as like the one that bears the cross. To me, that's not necessarily true. I feel like we as black women have a harder experience and they don't see it. And like the arguments of the things that they go through aren't ever exclusive to them. And the reason why they feel like they're the more oppressed. Oh, you don't know what it's like, to be a black man, to be profiled. I'm a black woman, I'm profiled. And I'm still more likely to die by a black man.
That's true.
Yeah. But also I think that even with like the whole idea of toxic masculinity, that it silences a lot of stuff. Like, I think we were talking about the artist who shall not be named. Mm-hmm. I think that if it was a woman who was being a predator, and I've seen this happen, where there was a woman who was doing something with like an 8th grader, and the responses to me were so incredibly disgusting. Like, oh, he's lucky. Man, if I had a teacher like that, he's a child.
Men have been brainwashed to think that, like, some of y'all really need therapy because your first sexual experiences, they weren't healthy.
And then I think also understanding that and understanding... It's such a layered thing, and we've kind of talked about, like, because I've been assaulted before. I guess I should put a trigger warning and all that other stuff, but
you'll do it later.
There's just so much that I think that we don't talk about, or we assign to a certain group of people. Like, women are more emotional. Like, and then I'm like, have you seen an upset man? Like the reason why, comedians talk about crazy women, and I think it was a Childish Gambino quote, women can't do that because crazy men kill them. Mm-hmm. So it's never like a even playing field. So as much as I do and I want to be better with sympathizing with men, it's hard as a woman because it's like, my shit don't look like, you have a privilege that I guess you take for granted or you don't see.
They don't see, but that's the definition of privilege.
Yeah, I know.
You ignoring something because it doesn't directly affect you.
So it's just like,
I get you.
The whole Kevin Samuels with like making more money and like having this whole thing, to me it's kind of like, I do think there's truth. Like there's a certain standard that you have when you do things. I get that. And like if you're making a lot of money, you would want something. I don't think that is even absurd to ask. Like, hey, if I got this X, Y, and Z and I have expectations, even if you don't have those expectations, one, I think it is stupid. But it's just, I feel like women aren't harsher with men. We're harsher with each other and men are harsh with us. It's not like an equal footing. So even the black femininity thing, like if you're an ugly man, you could have a decent life. Like, there are certain things you may or may not have to do, but, like, if you're a female and you're not conventionally attractive, even if you do the same thing as the man who's not conventionally attractive, it's not going to be, like, it's not an equal playing field.
I think men and women are judged on different scales. So men, I feel like they are just judged on money, on what they have, because that, to society, is a very masculine thing. Women are judged on looks, on attractiveness, and that's society, something that women are just judged on. Within the last year, have been trying not to play the oppression Olympics. Black women have it hard, black men have it hard. And I don't want to say who has it harder because it's not harder or easier. I think it's just different. There are things that black men get to do that we don't get to do. But I also think that there's a little bit vice versa. That I also think that there are some men who benefit from pretty privilege as well.
Well, what are some things that you feel like black women can do that black men can't?
I think a black woman who's pretty can get away with saying some shit that either black men can't. I've heard conversation with black men like, just like sometimes we have to censor our conversation, I think sometimes black men have to censor their conversation, or they'll be called misogynists, I'll give an example. So I was hanging out with the dude, and he was like football build, and he was pretty big. He told me that he had been sexually assaulted before, and I told him like, your big ass, like, and honestly coming from me, I'm like, your big ass, like, how could you let a woman do that? And I almost had to stop myself, and I'm like, this is how a lot of women think, but that's not okay.
Yeah, and I get that, and you're right. So I'm not saying I don't hear black men. It's just
it's hard when they don't sympathize with you.
Yeah, and I
get that.
I think that's the biggest thing. We cradle them, and
we
like
don't get cradled.
Yeah, and so it's just hard. But
I get that. I just don't like the
whole. But I feel like the oppression Olympics is kind of like it still falls harder on us than it does on them. Is all I'm saying.
Unpopular opinion. I got that. All right. Do we have any other ones?
No, we're an hour in. So if y'all are ready for part 2, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at That's Why You're Blocked. Obviously, that's my bill to get the fuck out of her apartment complex.
No. It's just how you start a night routine around this time. I'm trying to get in some good habits for 2021. That's all.
Thank you guys for listening to episodes and kind of getting a pick at our brain. We still have a lot of unpopular opinions, some that aren't as heavy, and on a light one. Lemon pepper is not that great of a seasoning for chicken, like lemon pepper wings. I wasn't impressed.
I agree.
I like hot lemon pepper, but like it's mostly because it's like buffalo. It's a hot sauce, and you add seasoning on top. But like lemon pepper sucks. Not sucks. It's not that great. What's another one?
If you don't like crabs and you live in Maryland, get the fuck out the state.
Niggas be having crab allergies. But
Get
I'm
the
not,
fuck out the state.
Alright, I'm talking about like actual crabs. If you can't open or you can't eat an actual crab,
yes,
bro,
you don't eat crabs.
Crab legs are for basic bitches. And we'll end on that.
Yes.
Even though if anybody asked me for crab legs, I would say yes. Well,
Of
not anybody, but like that's a great first date. And
that'll get you there. And now what we said.
And we are, I was gonna say, and we are recording on Valentine's Day, so we have not gotten there yet. But we're working on ourselves. Also, as a 24-year-old, it was 2 days ago that I learned what a communications major was. I didn't know. It's like what is it? Media. Like broadcasting.
So it's
I was like,
my
niggas
minor
be
in
like,
college. It's a whole big thing. So there's journalism as a part of it. Then there's the content, and then producing the content.
Because I was like, niggas be like, I'm a communication major. Like,
and strategies around communication.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck.
So
that
if someone
means.
does an interview and they completely bomb it, most likely they don't have a PR team. Most likely they don't have anyone telling them what to say to the public. Anyone like Beyonce? Oh, that bitch got a team.
Oh, also unpopular opinion.
About Beyonce?
And it's kind of like Rihanna. Like, they're not as great as I feel like people put them to a standard. But I also think that there's no such thing as like a good millionaire or billionaire. And I'll just...
What do you mean good?
Like, a good person. Like, with moral soul. Like, you can't get to a certain status without like screwing people over in life.
I don't believe that.
So you... Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the Jeff Bezos or like what's his name?
I think there are so many different ways to make $1 million or $1 billion that is possible.
Also, I don't think people realize how much a billion is. If you lived for 1 million seconds, it'd be about 11 days. If you lived for 1 billion seconds, you're 31 years old. 1 billion is a lot of money. There's literally like you don't need that much money. You won't spend that much money in your lifetime. Like, no matter what.
Well, that's what I call generational wealth, but I think it's possible.
I was like, that's more than that's generations. But
most people who are billionaires don't start off like in a millionaire family. It's not.
They start off in a millionaire family,
or they start off in a family that's already wealthy.
Yes,
like, it's kind of hard to.
You don't start from the bottom.
No.
Also, last unpopular opinion: the American dream only works for rich people. And we'll end on that. Yeah, because we said we were gonna end like 5 minutes ago.
We out.